Poverty by Dylan, Jackson, and Jaime. Poverty, the state of being extremely poor. Poverty is affecting 80% of humanity.
More than 1/3 of Africa lacks clean water.
925 million people are suffering from starvation due to not being able to afford food.
22,000 children die each day due to poverty.
Have you ever suffered poverty in your life?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I came to the United States when I was an immigrant. I was 6 years old, and I came with my family as undocumented immigrants. So when we first lived in the United States, we went through a lot of hardship. My brother and I would go to work in the seamstress factory where my parents worked. And our kind of job on the side to do is we would go around and pick up cans. We would pick up any aluminum cans, any plastic bottles, and collect them and use that to help buy ourselves some food along with what my parents used to earn. There was times where our dinner consisted of Ritz crackers and canned soda. And it was like the cheapest crackers and the cheapest canned soda you could get at a 99-cent store.
Less than 1% of the U.S. budget goes towards the fight against poverty.
Children from a poor background lag behind in every aspect of education.
Over 3 billion people live on $2.50 a day.
Everything we've done over the past 6 years has been in pursuit of one overarching goal: creating opportunity for all. Some communities have consistently had the odds stacked against them. That's true of rural communities with chronic poverty and inner cities where jobs can be hard to find and harder to get to.
How does poverty affect children that want to enroll into a school?
Poverty affects children in many, many different ways, and part of the challenge that people who are in poverty have is that so much of their emotional and intellectual energy is spent on just the basics. Where are we sleeping tonight? Where are we living? Where are we going to live? What are we going to eat? Where am I going to get a job? How am I going to survive day to day? And when you're spending so much emotional and intellectual time focusing on just the basics of life, it's really difficult to do things like you're doing and focus on a school project or do research or to make sure that all your homework's done, those type of things.
Poverty levels around the world by percents. We did the graph by multiple of 10, and we did the population of Asia, Africa, South America, North America, and Europe. Asia being at 50%, Africa being at 48.5%, South America at 31.8%, North America at 14.5%, and Europe at 13%. This is one of my classmates. He decided he would not want to show his face in like a video for his own personal reasons. So what's one of the hardships that you went through in poverty?
So one of the hardships that I went through in poverty was like not getting good grades and having to not do homework because I didn't want to do homework because I had to figure out where I wanted to sleep or where I wanted to eat or what I wanted to eat instead of doing normal kid things.
Mm-hmm. Living in poverty, that's like hard to find out where you're gonna live. So we wanted to ask you where did you live when you were suffering through poverty?
I mostly lived in homeless shelters and cars and only one car. And then I went to my aunt's house. That's pretty much it. I moved around a lot.
Do you care to explain more?
I moved schools a lot. I moved 9 times before I got here. And before my mom found this apartment. And we're living off of food stamps and canned goods and stuff like that.
How long did it last, living in your car and living off food stamps and canned food?
About 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, it was 2015 in February and till 2 months ago.
We can help by generating awareness for poverty.
We can also help by giving to or starting new donations.
There are many helpful programs and organizations that people can give to.
The government needs to invest more time and money into foundations like Oxfam America and the Hunger Project.
These ideas, projects, and programs could work, or at least begin to make a difference. We just need to invest our time, money, support, and help.
Like we said, it's possible, but we need you, our great nation's elected leaders and officials, to lead by the way, so together we can begin to help poverty.
There are millions of powerless children living around the world through poverty.
They have no control over their life.
We need you, President Trump, as our nation's leader.
To make a difference.
Same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. 'Cause my heart breaks a little